Yo, salute. We are back.
Yes, sir.
Let's get it. Yo, salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. As always, welcome to the latest installment of the Graphic and Wasted Show.
Or the Wasted and Graphic Show, whichever way you like to slice it. Brother, it's been a month of Sundays, bro.
Yeah,
a long time.
It's been many moons. You know how I can tell how long it's been? I don't think your mic is on.
Hold on. Wait, I got the bullshit.
This is the perfect way to start the show. Wasted with
on, baby. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's get it, man. Yeah, man. It's been probably what, a week or two, man, since we've done one of these. We've been kind of saving it up. It's the off season, you guys. Been slow motion, but man, me and my brother was talking today, and we said it's time. Real quick, salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. As always, make sure you guys wipe them feet. That means hit them thumbs up. Pay your bar tabs. That means hit those thumbs up, and also hit that subscribe button if you guys are not subscribed yet. I got to give my little man some love real quick. What's up, Dad? Raiders. He just FaceTimed me right before the show, and I said, I'm going live right now, son. So salute to my son for popping up and doing this. Hey, I know you got something for Wasted, Elijah. I know you got.
Look, I got something for him too. You know what I'm saying? I got something for him too. I got a right and a left.
There you go. Hey, man, salute to everybody. How we feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good, bro. You know, like we sit here and we're excited, bro. But it's like this sense of calm over the nation, bro. The old head, young whippersnapper. What's up, man?
Young whippersnapper. Salute to my son.
Yeah, but bro, it's a calm over the nation right now. It's a calm. It feels good. Feels good. I just don't trust it.
Okay.
I don't trust it. God darn it. Listen, it's time for us to get worried a little bit.
Okay, so let's not even waste any time. Let's dive into this because it is June 8th, right? A week after, the whole post-June stuff. We're thinking some stuff is going to get to rolling pretty quick.
Yeah.
Not a lot of movement in the NFL right now. Salute to Nick Chubb. It looks like he's about to sign a 1-year deal with the Texans. I think that's a great deal for him. I thought he was going to go to Chicago, and now I think Chicago is going to struggle to run the football this year. Yes, I'm telling you now, they took a 7th rounder out of Rutgers. I like him a lot, but I don't know if he's going to be ready to go, come week 1. The Texans, man, he could be the 3rd or 4th option behind Mixon, Pierce, and Woody Marks. I mean, that's a good move for him, and he's going to now potentially a perennial playoff team. Now, they've been in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, bro, and we talk about Chicago struggling to run the ball. I don't know if you saw Eric Bieniemy talking to that boy. He said he's slow as hell. Yeah, he said he's slow as hell. He run like he's 48 years old or something.
Yo, I like Eric Bieniemy, bro. I don't care what nobody say.
Yeah, but these young cats are soft. They can't deal with that old school coaching and stuff.
Yeah, man. I love it, but it's been slow motion. Once again, Nick Chubb is about to sign a 1-year deal with the Houston Texans, but not a lot of movement right now. I don't want to know the calm before the storm, so to speak. But why do you think it could be a bad thing?
Well, this is the thing, man. I think that we are not circling the wagons of the players that are out there. I know Spytek has a plan, right? Mm-hmm. I understand Pete has a plan.
Definitely.
But there's a positional group that has some young talent that could get exposed if that talent doesn't turn on in year 1. And that's the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
That is the secondary, bro. And I don't think that the Raiders are making enough of what needs to happen as far as from a corner perspective. Now, we know that they went out there, they signed a couple of guys that are still question marks, right? I think they need a proven guy, man.
Oh, agreed.
I'm gonna get on my soapbox, man. look, whether it's Jalen Ramsey, whether it's the kid from Green Bay, whether it's Rasul Douglas, you need somebody that is a little more proven, bro. I believe so, man. And I don't want to be the wet blanket here, because I know I have been lately. But I think that they need some more proven talent in that secondary. I'm sorry, man.
But I don't disagree with you. Now, we've been hearing things. We've spoken to a ton of people there, at ground level covering the team. And Darian Porter looks, it's only OTAs, you guys. Once the pads come on and things get to moving and shaking, things change up. But it sounds like he's ahead of the curve right now at the corner position. They like Eric Stokes. I'm hearing that he is performing very well out there early on. Jacorian, man, it's still early. He's been our starter. He was our starter last season. It looks as though he may get beat out potentially for one of those starting corner spots. DCam hearing, ups and downs with DCam, and rightfully so, year 2. It's going to take a little time for him to get adjusted to what we got going on. Hearing great things about Harper potentially still in that starting slot, which would be good because, former safety, our Notre Dame guy. I think, and he's only 5'10", but I think he would work well there in the slot over Darnay Holmes. Yeah. But you're right. A ton of unproven talent. We could use the likes of a Jalen Ramsey. And I think this kind of leads into our segue into what we're about to say. Today, he did not show up to OTAs. Was it OTAs? I forgot what was it? Mandatory minicamp.
Mandatory minicamp.
My apologies. And once again, you guys, him and the Miami Dolphins have already agreed to mutually part ways. So this is not moving any mountains with this article, but he did not show up. I think Miami agreed. Ramsey agreed. While, they're trying to move him and find a new home for him, they don't need any extra attention. They've already had all of it with Tyreek Hill. They've had a ton of it now with Jalen Ramsey. A few others out there. Miami has not had a great offseason by any means.
By no means. Yeah. And their front office is in shambles at this point. They swung big. They got no ROI in their investment. They swung big on Ramsey and Tyreek Hill. They thought that they would be, a stone's throw away from the Super Bowl, and they're even further now with both of those players than they were before they got here. And if you look at a guy like a Jalen Ramsey, you're talking about in 2025, he got a $16.6 million cap hit, man. Mm-hmm. And, the Miami Dolphins are going to have to take a haircut on that. They're going to have to take some of that money, man. Yeah. They are. And I think that's probably the hang up of why he hasn't been moved to begin with. I mean,
other teams are playing kind of hardball as well, Wasted. But you see the Dallas Cowboys, they were one of the teams that were potentially in on Jalen Ramsey. They just brought Stephon Gilmore in for a meeting. You know what I mean? Because they don't know where he's going to be with that injury. The young bull, we were just talking about on the phone, from South Carolina. East Carolina. He may not be available. Siobhan Revel, come week 1, overcoming that injury that, he sustained at the collegiate level as well. They may be playing a little.
Yeah, but see, Dallas is always the Dallas Cowboys and the Las Vegas Raiders are always the team that the media throws into the mix whenever there's a deal to drive the deal up. Right now, if we're being honest, we know Jerry Jones is the most football savvy guy in the world. He just kind of wants to make things happen. So he gets involved in these deals prematurely. But I'm going to be honest with you, the teams that you got to look out for, 2 of them play in Los Angeles and 1 used to play in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
It's the Chargers, the Rams, and the Raiders. Now, for the Raiders, and this is the reason why I bring this up.
I got another team, but go ahead.
Okay. There's another team. I forget who it is. We spoke about it.
No, this is a different team that I'm hearing right now.
But the thing,
the San Francisco 49ers.
The Winers, right? Watch you go there too. But see, this is the thing about the Raiders, man. And I think that not enough has been made of a move like this. I think the Raiders, as a team, if you want to take that step, right, you have to have a superstar at every level of your defense, right? Or at every level, as far as when you talk about the corner room. Now, Jeremy Chinn's no superstar, but he's solid.
Yes.
He's proven, right? Isaiah Palmau, I think, is a budding young talent. Yep. Right. On the defensive line, you got talent everywhere. I think Tommy Eichenberg is a future star in this league. And I know people think that's my Raider rose-colored glasses. Tommy Eichenberg is going to be a star.
I like that.
Right now.
I'm hoping so.
He's going to be a star linebacker.
We need that at the linebacker position. It's been too long.
I don't feel like some of the guys that we have in this secondary, I feel like that hopium is going a little rampant. Now, Jacorian Bennett is who he is, but the rest of those guys, man, are guys that I think, like DeCam Rich, I think these are guys that are probably playing safety later in their career. I don't know if DeCam is going to get it all together. I think Jalen Ramsey is a guy that if you insert him into our locker room with Max Crosby up front, immediately we're playoff contender. Like immediately. I think that catapults us to being probably the second best team in this division just from a defensive standpoint.
Okay. And I agree, even though Jalen is coming off probably one of the worst seasons of his career. You know, he played in all 17 games. First time since his rookie season, I believe, that he wasn't a Pro Bowler, which doesn't really mean anything at this point. But, you know, I mean, hey, look, this is the move that you make right now. If you really feel like you need an upgrade in that room. And from what I'm hearing, they like Porter a lot. They like Eric Stokes, which is on a 1-year super duper prove it deal. I'm a little nervous about that room as well, Wace. And I think that if you add him, you know, you already have a starter, and then that amps the competition up for that other spot. You know what I mean? Now you got Porter that you can kind of kick back a little bit. If you're high on Stokes, you don't have to throw him into the fire immediately and have him go out there and put starter minutes up. But, you know, I think that Jalen would definitely help take this defense to the next level. I think Pete knows what he brings to the table, but I understand the philosophy by kicking back a little bit, allowing to see where this thing goes, because it's already a week into post June 1st. There hasn't been a ton of rumors about any teams. And remember, before post June, there was there's a lot of interest. There's a lot of interest. Well, guess what? We're a week into June, and there hasn't been really any smoke at all about any teams really being truly tied to him. Not saying that a week is a long time, but at the NFL, a week is a long time.
A week is like a month in regular people's lives, right?
Yeah.
I think what it is that these teams are all on the same sheet of music. They're not going to throw out the baby with the bathwater. And you know there's a lot of collusion behind the scenes in the National Football League as to how they go about their business with contracts and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Case in point, most of the league is pissed at the Texans because of giving guaranteed money to their second rounder. And now that's kind of upset the apple cart. Yeah. And now this is something that's probably going to happen in perpetuity in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I think with the Ramsey deal, I think that most of these teams are on the same sheet of music and saying, hey, listen, Miami, you screwed up. You got to take some of the liability here. We're not going to bail you out of your bad contract. Yeah. You got to take some of it.
Yeah. And as they should, because once again, he is coming off of a down season in regards to what he's accustomed to being, right? You know, the contract is nasty. It includes $16.6 million. That's a cap hit for next year. And then it gets even worse, you know, the next few seasons. He's under contract through 2028. He signed a $72.3 million deal last September. So this is a fresh contract. You're not just taking on Jalen Ramsey. You're taking on Jalen Ramsey. You're taking on a new deal. He's 30 years old, kind of hit that 30-year-old mark last year. Like I said, he came back down to earth a little bit. You know what I mean? But who are you getting with him at this point? I'll say this. You're probably not getting the all-pro future Hall of Famer, but you're getting a proven starter that can come in and take that defense to the next level. And once again, that defense as a whole last year struggled. I'm not going to act like Miami just had the greatest defense on earth. They struggled mightily on both sides of the football last year with injuries and all that, you know, all that. So, you know, I do believe that Jalen can come out to Las Vegas and revive his career, even at 30 years old.
I think this will be the second act for him. I think
I love it. I'm here for it.
I think that Jalen Ramsey with the front four that we have, and see that's the thing that's a quiet thing not being said. When you have such a dominant front four, when you have a guy like Max Crosby, right, that is creating havoc, flushing people out the pocket, making them, you know, throw the ball under duress. People like Jalen Ramsey, they don't bat the ball down. They don't get beat. They intercept the ball. Mm-hmm. I think the pairing with Jalen Ramsey and us and the Rams as well, because of the kind of defense they have and all the talent they got over there, would resurrect his career. I think Jalen Ramsey will have an 8 to 9 interception year with either one of these teams. And I think that's why it's imperative that he gets out of money.
In a year, huh?
Bro, it's imperative because you got to understand something.
He had 2 last year, and that was the lowest he's ever had in his career.
Yeah, because people don't test them, and there's no reason for them to test them there in Miami, right?
Yeah, but then he said this. He did get better. He had 60 total tackles. He had 11 pass defense, and that was in 17 games. He was healthy all season, so he played all 17 games. So he did have a low of 2 interceptions, but he amped it up in other departments.
Yeah, but you got to look at it from this perspective. How many times are they testing him? Because he had over 1,000 snaps, 1,000 snaps, 607 coverage snaps. Most of the time, people are going away from Jalen Ramsey because they could just pick on the people on the other side of the team. But with the Raiders have the kind of room where you got young, talented players, you got some good safeties, you have a defense that is filled out. If you add him to it, this is a guy who probably you have no choice but to throw to the side of the field at times, right?
Yeah.
So now this is a different situation you're dealing with. I think he'll have more pass breakups. I'm going to be honest with you. I think he'll probably have more interceptions, and I think he'll have 8 or 9 interceptions. I'm serious. Because, look, Max and these guys, especially if Chris Wilkins comes back, they're going to be creating havoc, man. Yeah. Tyree Wilson, all of these guys, I'm telling you.
Hearing good things about Tyree right now as well.
Bro, yes, we are. And I'm telling you right now, this defense with that guy at the back end of the defense, pause if necessary, will bro, I think it'll move mountains, bro.
I think him and Jeremy Chin will set the tone. Period.
Yeah, did Jeremy Chin, Jeremy Chin, the Crimson Chin, will be knocking people's chin in the dirt.
Space Beast, how dare you? So it is the Wasted and Graphk show. Salute to my guy.
F is wrong with you, Space Beast. We up here trying to give you content, and you're coming with your crap. You and freaking Demokes with his crap. Demokes, let me tell you something. And see, Graphk, you might have missed this. Demokes was put in the gulags.
Oh.
He was put in the gulags for about 300 seconds for acting up on my show. Demokes, watch your effing filthy mouth.
The disrespect. Once again, you guys, Jalen Ramsey still sitting out there in Miami waiting for a trade. He did not show up to mandatory minicamp. It was a mutual thing between the organization and the player. So stay tuned. Expect something to be done shortly. I guarantee it has to be here in the next few weeks. I know they want to move off from him before they get to training camp. They can't hold on to him that long. So expect some team to take a shot on him. But the longer this goes on, the price just kind of lowers and lowers and lowers.
Really,
you know what I mean? So, and I know Spy Tech values his picks. I'm hoping and praying that maybe you can give up a 4th, a 5th. That would be beautiful.
You can give up a 5th, bro. I think you start at a 5th and you go down because the Dolphins gave up a 4th to get him. Yeah. So just from sure
depreciation. Well, they give a 3rd. They give a 3rd.
They give a 3rd. Well, listen, just from sure depreciation, 4th or 5th, like you said. Yeah. Right? You sure? Well, I thought it was a 4th.
No, we give a 3rd. They have a 3rd. But once again, he's older now. He's not producing at the level he was with the Rams. You can't necessarily ask for a 3rd unless there's a crazy bidding war. And at this point with that contract, I don't see them moving a 3rd. I mean, Devontae was giving up for a 3rd and he was still producing. You know what I mean? So
nobody is giving up a 3rd.
No, I don't see it. Salute
that contract too.
Salute the Just Raiders, baby. Let's bite the bullet and go get Jalen. We have the cap space. He'll boost our defense instantly. We need a solid secondary to be competitive. In the AFC West, we definitely do. And one thing we can't do is rely on the defensive line. If they're healthy, yes, they're going to be the juggernaut on the defensive side of the ball, but Max has dealt with some things. Kuntz missed all last season. Christian, where are we with him? We don't even know if he's going to play this year. Can Adam Butler continue to replicate what he's done these past 2 seasons in Vegas? We don't know. But then we have a bunch of young guys that are unproven. So the defensive line has to set the tone this year. But if you went and got the likes of a Jalen Ramsey, it would definitely ease the blow a little bit on the back end of our defense. Salute to Just Raiders, baby. My dog. I appreciate you. Salute to Funky Hair Man. I love Ramsey at the right deal. It will put us over the top. I agree. And I know a lot of people keep saying he's washed. That is insanity. It's insanity.
Bro, you know what that is? That is the drive-by football fan in today's world. Like you have people who don't really watch football. They play fantasy football. They think they know the game. They don't know the game. Mm-hmm. Being washed is subjective. What is being washed? Like, if everybody has a career that goes like this every year and not like this, nobody would ever go to the Hall of Fame. No, like people throw that word washed around way too much. You want to talk about somebody that's washed, bro? I'll tell you somebody that's washed. When you start talking about guys like Derek Carr, that guy's washed. And I know, and you know what? I brought his name up just to start a fight with you mother effers. That guy's washed. Jalen Ramsey's not washed. He had a down year. So get the F up out of here with your crap.
I'll say this, and I mean this respectfully, okay? Because some of these guys, Like Von Miller is a future Hall of Famer, one of the greatest edge rushers in a long, long time. Okay, like he is one of the greatest pass rushers, at least in these last when did he come into the league? He's been over a decade, right?
Yeah,
he's washed at this point. He's washed. I mean, he can't produce at the same level that he once did.
Yeah, I mean, he's a legend.
Khalil Mack, compared to what he used to do, you can put him in that category as well.
No, Mack is not washed yet. So we're gonna use that mouth out. Where the hell is my sound?
We're gonna use our Raider bias.
I'm gonna hear my soundboard. Get the F up out of here. He's not washed yet. Khalil Mack washed.
34 years old. Okay, let's go ahead and do this real quick. Last season, he had 6 sacks. 6 sacks in 12 games or 16 games. 6 sacks.
Bro, I have 1 sack and I ain't washed.
Yo. Oh, shit. But look, the year prior, he had 17. So he went crazy that year. But last year, came back down to reality.
But see that those two things are not congruent, right? Because that is essentially Jalen Ramsey. And we're saying he's not. That Khalil Mack does not help your argument.
How?
Because Jalen Ramsey had a good year before that. I think washed is like 2 or 3 years in a row just being down.
Okay, like Bosa?
Now Bosa, yeah, listen, man. I mean, his nose looks like the Great Pyramid.
Follow my snout. It's never in doubt.
Yes. Yo, look, I, that guy hasn't been able to get on a plane in 4 or 5 years, man.
Yo, that's why he always has ankle injuries and shit, because he's always foot to the pedal, having to drive everywhere and shit.
Yeah, he's got to drive everywhere. They won't let him on a plane with that weapon on his face.
Yo, salute to the most. When people found out Geno was going to be quarterback 1, LA started to riot. True story. Love my city. Salute to the most, man. And prayers going out to everybody out there in LA dealing with the situation. It's crazy. There's a bunch of protests and crazy stuff with the whole ICE situation. It's nasty, nasty work out there. Prayers going out to all my people out there in Los Angeles, man. Crazy. Let's get to it. I like that Q said that I doubt that they trade Scary Terry. I doubt it too, Q, but we have to talk about it, okay? Because right now he is very unhappy in DC. He has 1 year left on his deal. He had over 1,000 yards last season. He had 13 touchdowns or something like that. Like, he put up a crazy amount of what did he have last year? Let me look this up.
Bro, see, look.
5 straight seasons of 1,000 yards wasted. 5 of them. 13 touchdowns, named second team All-Pro last year. One of the major reasons why Jaden Daniels had the success that he had last year. Okay?
Bro, Adam Peterson, and look, he's been he was that wonder kind GM, kind of like John Spytek is, right? Yeah. We thought that we were going to have him here with the Raiders. I think, him going out and getting Deebo Samuel, is something that is going to be an issue, because
he went and got his guy, and now you have a 29-year-old coming off of a second team All-Pro saying, "Well, where's my money?"
He's getting $17 million guaranteed, and this is a guy that's done something for you in a Washington uniform. Yeah. So look, you're gonna have to, Jaden Daniels, whomever's the quarterback, and this is a guy who's produced with Flotsam and Jetsam at quarterback.
Yeah.
This guy is going to produce either which way, Terry McLaurin.
5 straight seasons of over 1,000 yards.
He is this generation's Steve Smith.
Ooh.
He really is. Like, he will produce with whoever's at quarterback. I done seen, Steve Smith get it done with Jake Delhomme.
Tim Brown, baby, the GOAT.
Yeah, Tim Brown. But Tim Brown was a beast.
Hall of Famer legend. I'm just saying in terms of he played with some bad quarterbacks.
Yeah, I put Tim Brown.
Oh yeah, it's just a whole nother stratosphere.
Yeah, I don't put him in that. I don't think Steve Smith Sr. is in. I know Steve Smith Sr. thinks that he's in that little room with guys like Rice and Chris Carter and Irv. Like, he say he's better than Irv. I don't know.
Look, can I give you my reasoning real quick? Because Heavy.com put something up there. There was a proposed trade. I forgot where it came from. Was it Bleacher Report? It was somewhere. I don't know where the hell it came from, but the proposed deal was to send a second rounder and Michael Mayer. So people continue to throw, Michael Mayer into these trade discussions. I'm hearing really good things from him out of OTAs. Him and Geno are starting to build a rapport, which is great, but that's too rich for my blood. And I say that to say this. He's 29 years old, right? Still has a couple years left in the tank that he can play at a very high level. You have a guy in Jacoby coming off his first season with 1,000 yards. In the past few years, he's played with some terrible quarterbacks. You just drafted 3 wide receivers. You got a couple more UDFAs that you want to see, Zachary Franklin and so on and so forth. You got Trey Tucker still coming in, on his third year of his deal. Where are we with this? At some point, you're going to have to pay Brock. If you keep Mayer, you're going to have to pay him at some point. It doesn't make any sense to me to go out there and move some early draft capital and potentially a really good football player to go get the likes of a Scary Terry and pay him north of $30 million because that's what he wants. That's the asking price at this point, right? The market is the market. DK Metcalf got 33 per. I would rather have Scary Terry than DK Metcalf.
Yeah, 1,000%. But guess what, man? I think we went out there and we drafted people who will be in that echelon soon.
Yeah.
This is the one room that I'm not worried about. You go out there and not only do you hit with Jack Besh, who is a guy that is a Swiss Army knife of a wide receiver that needs reps.
Yes.
Then you go get a guy that is a unique talent just from a physical standpoint in Dante Thornton. Shout out to Dante Thornton, right?
He's my guy.
Right. And then you already had a young budding, receiver out there. You know what I'm saying? And when I sit up there and I think of Trey Tucker, man, he is a guy that a lot of people are sleeping on. But I'm telling you, this guy with an accurate quarterback that can throw the deep ball is going to move mountains.
Yes.
Look, this receiving core with Jacoby Meyer, with Brock Bowers, that's the one thing you don't need to touch. Mm-hmm. You don't need a luxury item on that side of the football. I think what you have to do is you have to stagger your resources, right? So. Yeah. In drafts past, we put everything in the defense.
Yeah.
A lot in the defense, right? This draft and this offseason was more highlighted by the offense.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, if you're gonna go out there and make a move, now you go and you put a couple of those resources into the defense.
Yeah,
like I don't see any reason to not to, bro. Like if you're gonna make a deal, you're gonna spend money on somebody, go get Jalen Ramsey.
Yes, I agree. Let Chip cook with what he has. I know he had his hand in the pot, in this draft class, bringing in those offensive guys. But once again, and I hate to keep using this, narrative, but we don't necessarily need the wide receiver one. Jacoby became, 1B technically last year, having over 1,000. We got Brock Bowers, you guys, and he's going to command the rock a ton. You want to be able to get best of football. Dante and Tucker are going to eat this season. Hopefully, Michael Mayer gets heavily involved in the offensive side of the ball as well. There's no need for Scary Terry because of how much you're going to have to pay him. His asking price is probably going to be over what DK Metcalf. Metcalf is younger, at least 2-3 years younger, but he got paid 33. The market is the market. This guy has been productive year in and year out. And just like our brother Wasted said, with some really bad quarterback play out there, he's going to command a nice deal. The thing is, I don't want to see Denver find a way to get him or the Chargers to find a way to get him, because that's going to take both those offenses with Bo Nix and Justin Herbert to the next level. Scary Terry with those guys, it would be actually really scary, no pun intended. So, potentially another team can get in the mix. Once again, we mentioned the Niners with Jalen Ramsey. For some reason, they love receivers, right? The Shanahan way of going about things. Ayuk, we don't know where he is with his health.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to afford him and Ayuk. They paid Ayuk and he wants out of there. Right. So the thing that
we'll get Peters his guy and Ayuk move.
Well, that's what I can see happening, because it's not just Peters' guy, it's Jaden Daniels' guy from college. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. And they're very, very close. I can see maybe them making a little swapsy.
Okay.
Swapsy, bro.
A swapsy. Wow. Could you imagine just Debo and Ayuk just reuniting once again? Both guys that held out on Adam Peters with the Niners.
That is crazy, bro.
Right back in
Debo got to clean it up, though, bro. That Joker was coming to the game dressed like a bad bitch. He got to stop it all. He got to chill, bro.
Yeah.
He got to chill, bro.
Yeah, man. It's nasty work. You get a little bit of bread and you get to looking kind of low-key mania out there, man.
Yeah, bro. That Joker was out there looking like he was leaving the Blue Oyster.
Salute to everybody here in the building, man. Wipe them feet, hit them thumbs up. If you guys are not subscribed yet, what are y'all waiting on? Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, man, make sure you pay your bar tabs and make sure you wipe them feet, man. Get those likes up. Keep us in the algorithm, you guys. Salute to everybody here in the building. Just Raiders, baby, says, We don't need any more receivers. There might be dudes that won't make this roster at receiver. Bachman, Colin Johnson, etc. And look, this is the thing. I'm not saying that we couldn't use another receiver. I'm just saying, why use draft capital when you can go get the likes of a Gabe Davis that would fit in what we're doing? He's a great blocker, big body guy that can play in a slot. Coop, we already know what he can do. He's had seven years of over 1,000 yards receiving. He slowed down a little bit, but once again, he wouldn't have to be your number one guy, right? And then there's Keenan Allen out there who had over 700 yards receiving in Chicago in a really bad year out there with Caleb Williams and company. So there's still some options out there. What I love, Scary, we wanted him before we made the move for Antonio Brown, right? Like we wanted to draft him that draft. Then we gave up the 3rd and the 5th. It was nasty work.
And they probably should have just drafted him, right? Because he'd still be here. I mean, bro, this is the thing. There are so many things that the Raiders need, and so many things that the Raiders could address. I don't think wide receiver is one of them. I have a great, and I don't want to be like an orator of hope. I'm telling you.
Hold on. What was that? Orator?
Orator of hope.
Orator?
Yes.
Word of the day, you guys. Gather around the campfire. Word of the day. Orator.
But I don't, right? But what I want to be is I want to be measured with who we're looking at. Like Besh, seriously, Besh and Thornton, these guys are going to be some major players in this league. I'm telling you right now. And I normally don't do this with rookies. I normally don't. But Jack Besh is I'm telling you right now, he is going to be this season's poop in the cool.
Hey, man, I try to tell the nation about Besh. Everybody was freaking out. You about to get a glimpse of what this guy can do this upcoming season. And Ronnie, that's a great thing, though. You said with the running back, Genty, Brock Bowers' production might go down. It is going to go down. I think it should. Look, if you we had no ground game last season. It was tough to run the football week in and week out. You don't have to force the football to Brock Bowers, is it ever really forcing the football to Brock? It just seems like he's always going to be open. He's that good.
Open, man.
But once again, I said this on my show, and I want your take on this, Wasted. I think that he's going to have less receiving yards, but I think he's going to average more yards per catch.
Yeah, so, I think he's going to catch more touchdowns too.
Okay.
And then Brock's
going to he's going to have less attempts. He'll have more yards per catch, but I think he'll be somewhere in that 1,000-yard range.
Oh yeah. He's definitely going to be at the table of the elite when it comes to his position,
and double the touchdowns, not 5, somewhere in that 10 to 12 range.
Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Brock Bowers stays open like legs of a hooker on a blade.
It's on the blade, E14.
I'm trying to tell you right now, open 24/7.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and that's what he does, man. He's just one of them guys like Travis Kelce, who have a gift for finding the crease. Bang zoom. I'm one of the ones too. I too have found the crease a time or two in my life. I do, bro.
Yo, you stupid, bros. Salute, man. Get some questions in, you guys. Let's have some fun today. We're going over the Jalen Ramsey talk. Once again, he did not report to mandatory minicamp today, so they're still waiting to see where things are going to go with him in that trade. We're talking about Scary Terry. It looks like he is very unhappy with the Commanders. It looks like there may be a trade on the horizon, which I don't think the Commanders are going to move him, even if he is disgruntled. I think that they're in win now mode. Their window is opened up like pretty quick. They were in the NFC Championship last year. They need him in the mix. You know what I mean? So it would be crazy to not bring him back into the fold. So at some point they're going to have to pay him, but they got to take care of other guys. They just made a move for Tunsil. He needs a new deal. They gave up a ton to go get him. No pun intended on that. They got some other guys that they're gonna have to pay here soon.
Tunsil, man, the gas mask,
goblin,
the straight gas, the gas face master.
There you go. But I do believe that he will return to the Commanders, and he'll be that number one option for Jaden Daniels. Debo, man, has kind of come back down to reality these past few seasons. He was supposed to be, he was forced to be the number one last year. Look how that looked.
And he's thick framed too.
Thick framed. Yeah.
He was thick framed. We got to salute to thick frame nation.
Yeah. They had Neil Farrell out there, wide receiver.
Neil Farrell. Debo looked like he should be like a security guard at a high school or something like that.
The cool ass security though, the one that he'll catch you sneaking off campus and be like, come on, you know you can't do that shit, bro. Go back to class.
Hey, black man, y'all over there smoking them damn tweeds.
Let me hit that shit.
Hey, let me hit that shit.
Yeah.
Let me hit that shit right
there. That's definitely real quick. And also for those who mentioned it, LV, salute to our brother LV Maximus. We mentioned that early on in the show. A lot of people were making videos about Nick Chubb coming to the Raiders. I mean, I think after Ashton Genty was drafted, you guys, it was a foregone conclusion that we weren't going to go that route. And then we took only one running back in the draft, which kind of let you know right there their thought process. They got Raheem Mostert, 1 year, $2 million deal. And then we got 3 other guys fighting for that other spot, those other 1 or 2 spots. So it just didn't really make a ton of sense to bring in Nick Chubb. I would have loved for him to be in Vegas. I know Wasted is waiting to say some funny shit about the Chubb, but he will be signing a 1-year deal with the Texans. So I think that's a smart move for him. We shall see what that thing looks like out there in Houston with
That's
Nick
what
Chubb.
she said. Once I got a Chubb, she wanted to see what that thing looked like. Bang zoom graphic. Bang zoom.
Yo.
Finding the crease even.
And once again, you guys, remember this. If you move for Scary Terry, if you make a move, let's just say you send a 2nd-round pick in a Michael Mayer, or you send a future first, or whatever you're giving up for a 29-year-old wide receiver. Remember this. He's averaging 22.78 right now. He's going to be asking for north of 30. Now look at this real quick, Wasted. DK Metcalf, 33. CeeDee Lamb gets 34. Justin Jefferson gets 35. So I'm not saying he's going to reset the market and get more money than Justin Jefferson, but you have to place him somewhere in between that DK Metcalf.
You're looking at 27 to $28 million.
Yes.
And look, because he understands where he sits in a hierarchy of the league. He knows he's not those guys, right?
Yeah.
But what I would tell you is this, right? Fool me once, shame on me.
Yeah.
No, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, right?
Yeah.
I'm sound like George W. Bush. Fool me. You can't fool me again. but listen, the Raiders have done this song and dance a million times with star wide receivers.
Yeah.
Do we have to mention the Randy Moss move? Do we have to mention the Antonio Clown move? We just got out of a nightmare with Devontae Adams. And guess what? It shows you that the Raider fortunes are changing, because that was one that did not blow up in our face. And we subsequently wound up getting Geno Smith because of it.
And guess what, Wasted? The last few times that we were successful at doing this thing at the wide receiver position, 2016, you drafted Amari Cooper. You went out and got Michael Crabtree, off the streets at a decent price at that time, and he came through and outperformed. Like, we need to draft these guys. I'm all for giving Dante Thornton.
He was working out great until the unfortunate incident. He was looking to be one of those guys that were going to be at the top of this league, right? Yeah. So the metric for finding success at wide receiver is definitely drafting them. It doesn't. It's nothing but right, because you get the best of that player for a cheap price. Yeah. And then if they become a pain in the ass, you can move them and get the asset at its highest.
That's what. Thanks.
Yeah, I gotta hook the soundboard. What the F's going on here?
But remember this too, you guys. The 2 highest paid wide receivers in football were drafted to those teams: Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb, and rightfully so. So let's get this thing right. Let's give Dante a shot. Give Besh a shot. And if you're going to pay anybody in that group right now, you pay Jacoby. You take care of one of your own. And if you feel like you need to go get another receiver, go attack the draft next year and go early if need be. You know what I mean? But I don't think it makes a ton of sense to move some draft capital to go get a 29-year-old. If Scary Terry was 25, 26, and they were moving on from him, then I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued here. But, once again, he's 29, he's getting up there in age a little bit. Don't do it. And LV says that Gabe Davis is visiting the Saints. And from what I've been told, LV, and I think there's been some reports on it as well, it's not about Gabe Davis's ability. It's about the injury. That's why he left the Giants without a deal. He left the Niners without a deal, and potentially he can leave New Orleans without a deal. They're not going to perform that well this year anyway. So I don't think they would be opposed to bringing him in and giving Shuck a potential another option at the receiver position. But that'd be interesting.
Gabe Davis got a wartime hero's foot.
Yeah.
So, Gabe Davis, listen, bro. The one thing that I want none of on the Raiders, I don't want big contracts of guys who are on the other side of the hill. I don't want injury-prone players. and I don't want the Raiders to go out there and spend premium money on luxury items.
Yeah, this is fact.
If we can keep that in perspective, I'm cool. But look, I'm gonna be honest with you, Graphk. You know, it sounds good, right? It sounds good, but bro, there's only one football, and to be honest with you, bro, we want to see these guys develop. You don't want to stockpile this room with a bunch of people that's going to demand the football. I think we're good where we're at, man.
Yeah.
For the first time in a long time, I think we are good where we are.
And you got a bunch of guys in year 1 and year 2 that they're not going to go out there with any ego. They're just going to be like, look, give me the ball whenever you can get me the ball. Like, you know, I think that we're in a good space, especially with Jacoby, the veteran in that room that he's not going to demand that he gets the football a certain amount of times a season. He's going to go out there and do all the dirty work. The thing is, you guys, we got players that are coming to do all the dirty work. Block, great route runners, guys that are going to go out there, take their lunch pail to work every single day and not complain about anything. Once again, Scary Terry is not a guy that has done that, you know, at all. This is the first time I've ever heard his name be tied to anything. And mind you, he deserves it. He deserves a pay raise. He only has 1 year left, and he's looked good out there with the Commanders. But that's their problem. You know, at this point, we have other issues. We got Colton Miller, our left tackle, that has no guaranteed money left on the books. Jacoby, who was a leader in the locker room that Dante has said that has put his arm around him, and he has 1 year left on the books. Like, we have other issues, and I don't think that it really makes a ton of sense. Would I love to have him in silver and black? Definitely. I was a huge fan, and Wasted was as well, of him at Ohio State. We wish we would have drafted him if we didn't make that move for Antonio Brown, but this just doesn't make any sense. We've seen a lot of people talking about it on Instagram and Twitter. We just wanted to give our take, you guys, and kind of kill this narrative of the Raiders potentially making a move. I don't think it makes a ton of sense. I think any team that does reach out are in super win now mode. Like, their window is like very, very, like, they need to do that now.
Like Buffalo Bills or somebody like that.
Yeah, potentially. Or some teams, some fringe teams. Who are the Niners at this point? Who are they? Who are the Chargers coming off a playoff performance last year? Denver's coming off of a playoff performance. I'm not saying that those teams are one player away from a Super Bowl, but they were in the playoffs last year. And honestly, we were 4-13. I know this thing is different now with Pete in the fold, Spy Tech, but once again, is it different? It's not different until it's different. And simple and plain, we're still 4-13 right now. We're 4-13.
That surprisingly makes a whole hell of a lot of sense. And it's not different until it's different. Because if it's different, then it's different. And if it's not different, then it might be different between the different with some different on the side.
See, it's like when I'm right. And then when I'm wrong, I'm right too. So it's like when I'm right, I'm wrong. But when I'm wrong, I'm right.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I'm out, then I'm in.
You know what I mean? So there you go. Something else we want to talk about, you guys. It looks like our future star center, Jackson Powers Johnson, has got right this offseason, getting his body together, man. He is really a man on a mission right now, Wasted. He spoke to media last week. This was at OTAs, and he revealed a few things. He said, I really hammered down a routine. I've lost 10 to 15 pounds. I'm faster. I'm stronger. I'm getting a lot better at technique. I think I'm going to make a great jump. I'm going to give it as best as I got, and I got to have some fun. So our guy lost 10 to 15 pounds. He looks like he's in way better shape.
Yeah.
You can just see it. You know, when you see him out there at OTAs, he looks like he's in phenomenal shape. It being a center, offensive lineman, is tough to stay in shape like that anyway. But what's your thoughts on our future star center? And I'm saying future, like this season, losing some weight and getting right this offseason.
Bro, because you know the funny thing, the thing that I noticed from him is that he lost weight, but he gained muscle. And if he did that, that is everything for a center. He needs strength. He needs to be able to sit up there and hold his position at the point of attack. Yeah. And to be honest with you, look, man, I love what I'm hearing out of this kid. Like the kind of mentality he has is the mentality of a guy who's going to be a perennial superstar in this league. Just like the fact that he was so bothered about Cam Hayward besting him.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about it. I love that, man. Yeah.
He said, I hope I get a chance to face him again. Like, I hope that he signed, he lives out his contract the next 2 seasons, and we get a chance to see them, not this season, but next season. I love that.
Yeah, Cam Hayward said he was selling wolf tickets. He said he was wolfing. I'm like, wow.
Hey, I love it, though. Hey, look, man, that guy is potentially a future Hall of Famer, man. Like, that dude is one of them ones. So for him to even be in the same breath, you know what I mean, is our young guy, JPJ. I love it, man. I love that he's talking this shit. But hope, man, that'd be great if somehow, some way we both were really good this year. A-Rod just signed with the Steelers. What if we could see them in the playoffs to see a JPJ and Cam? That would be phenomenal.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
Heavyweight fight.
I love it. Real quick, salute to Ronnie. Bowers is and will be the best tight end in the league. We are building a good offense. Besh is going to produce. Jacoby is clutch. I'm just curious what Dante Thornton, my son, knows I'm live right now, and he's trying to call me.
Put him on the air.
Nah, I'm not putting him on the air because he's going to get on my
You be asking some shit.
He said, yeah, for real. I need some Robux. But I'm just curious what Dante Thornton and Trey Tucker are going to do. I mean, look, what's your initial thought when you hear these guys' names? You think speedsters.
Yeah.
You think that, they're gonna they're gonna beat the defense up a little bit. They're gonna allow Brock and Jacoby to eat up the middle of the football field, Michael Mayer as well. These guys are deep threats. You know what I mean? And they're gonna allow this defense. Well, they're gonna keep defenses modest. Let's say that. You know what I mean?
Bro, the thing with Dante Thornton is not only does he have a huge catch radius, but he also can run away from you too, and that's really was gonna make him a scary guy. And then you have a quarterback that can get him the football, man. I mean, finally, my God, man, finally we got a QB that can get him the damn football, man. I'm excited to see what these kids. Not Aiden Mid-O'Connell.
And once again, you guys, if you didn't get a chance to,
Mitty McMiddle,
you can hear from the horse's mouth. Dante was on the show yesterday. You get a chance to go run over. It's the last video upload in the live section on YouTube. He spoke a ton about Besh, about him at OTAs and all of his teammates. Go check it out if you guys can. Once again, wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. If you guys are not subscribed yet, what are y'all waiting on? Pay your bar tabs. Do all that good stuff. Salute to the 1,000 people watching in the building, whether you're on Twitter, Waste's channel, my channel. We appreciate you guys so much. Michael says, bingo. Love our receiving core. Yeah, man. I mean, look, you invested heavily into that group in this draft class. Allow these guys a chance to operate before we, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not say that we have one of the best wide receiving groups in football. It's one of the most unproven groups in football outside of Jacoby, and he has a ton to prove, even at his age. So all I'm saying is let's just see what this thing looks like before we jump out the window and try to make a move.
Years, man. We got people on. I think that's something that as a team you got to leverage that. You got to keep some people hungry. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why more teams don't do that.
Yeah.
Now, and look, I get it, right? But with a guy like Jacoby, you get a chance in real time to watch your young wide receivers develop. If they do, you let them walk. If they don't, you keep them. That's very, very simple, y'all.
Simple and plain. Salute to Snake Fist. Greetings, Graphk and Wasted. The interview with Dante was fire. Appreciate you, brother. He's confident and not a prima donna. I see 700 to 1,000 yards is my prediction. I love it, man. Salute to Snake Fist. Kempo, my guy, I appreciate you on the kind words. And thank you on the $5 special, man. Salute to Raid as well. We talked about this. Stokes, Porter, Bennett Richardson, Harper in the slot. Chin can play in the slot some as well. Definitely, man. In those nickel packages, you're going to see a ton of different looks. And guaranteed, we were talking about this offline, you're going to see Chin get some snaps there. He's played over 1,000 reps in the slot in his NFL career. You're going to see Trey get some smoke there as well. He played a ton in the slot at Air Force. Once again, Palomal played a ton in the slot at USC. I believe an injury kind of forced him to kind of get into the nickel, and he plays a ton of reps out there as well. So you're going to see a ton of different looks. That's why I'm kind of getting over the being worried about that position wasted. You think of Darnay Holmes, and this is no knock. I don't want to beat up on Darnay because I like the kid and I hope that he can play well this season. But I think we're kind of tripping. Like, that's the starting. Nah, man, there's gonna be so many different looks. The defense is gonna look different with Pete Carroll's secret sauce on it as well. It's gonna look good. We're gonna be all right. Pause. That's crazy right there, man. You can't even say secret sauce.
Pete Carroll's secret sauce, bro.
Bro, at 73, there's no more secret sauce. At 73, there's no more secret sauce wasted.
Bro, look, let me tell you something. The sauce can all listen. You can.
You almost had to pause yourself,
bro.
Holy shiznit.
Listen, man. Hugh Hefner was dropping watermelon seeds at even older than that. You know what I'm saying? Listen. The sauce doesn't go out of business with men, bro. That's only women.
It was beast mode and yeast mode.
Not yeast mode, yo. Yo, salute the yeast mode. But in all seriousness, bro, like I think too much is being made of some of that stuff, man. Like too much is being made of it. Like we sit up there and we laud and we give Pete Carroll credit for certain things where it's like, bro, if I'm being honest, man, like I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, bro. I was trying to get it back. I'm getting
so while you, because this is exactly how you looked when you lost your thoughts. So we're gonna go put a bodega wasted right here. That's exactly you like you lost it.
I did that's right there.
Yeah. What's the move on Parham? If Rodgers proceeds to win the right guard spot, I think he's going to be the backup to the center. JPJ, I think he'll be the backup center, and he'll be a backup guard. But I think that he needs, if he doesn't win one of those guard spots, we're hearing good things about Alex Kappa right now, which is great.
Webster,
the Capinator.
Yo, the Capinator is the man, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yo, like we were talking about this, and I was going to save this for later, but we were talking about snaps, reps. Alex Kappa was like 4th in the league in snaps at guard, even though he played bad, right? Mm-hmm. You know, he played bad in a bad offensive line. If Alex Kappa can hold that position down, that's great for us.
Yeah,
that's great for us. This is a guy who played on a Super Bowl team and did very well that year and got hurt right before the Super Bowl. And when you talk about a guy like a Dylan Parham, if he doesn't make it as far as one of the starters go, I'm okay with that because look, that means that we got what we wanted in the middle. We got a stronger guard in the middle of the field. That's what we need, man. I mean, look, I'm telling you right now, Caleb Rodgers is going to be a starter. That's cool.
You said it since day one, and I love that you are pushing all your chips in for this one. I'm here for it, bro. I hope that you're right, but I still got Alex Kappa at right guard, and I have Parham at left guard until proven otherwise. But if he doesn't win, that means the best man won, and that's all we want is the strongest offensive line, because last year we struggled mightily early on in the season. They started to get the shit together a little bit when Philbin took over. But look, let the best man win. But I personally would have him as the backup center to JPJ if he loses one of those starting spots. I think Meredith can be a great backup. Let's just say Meredith wins one of those spots. You got Caleb Rodgers and you have Alex whoever it is. I'm just saying I have him as the backup center regardless. Salute to Funky Hair Man. If you want to be a great Raider, start sparring with Max. JPJ and Max have been training together all off season. I'm looking for a payoff. Just win, baby. Salute to my guy, Funky Hair Man. Salute to the most. He said, put wasted in the gulag.
Listen, you can't put. Listen, I am the warden of the gulags. Can't put me there. What the F is wrong with you?
Gulag. Yeah, I'm fucking up. Salute to George. Time for the Raiders to R-Truth the NFL.
Hey, man, you know what the Raiders need to do, man? They need to make it to the Super Bowl. And a lot of people would say it's slim and none, but look at R-Truth's hair, man. If he still has a couple of dreads on his hair, he has a grand total of 2.5 dreads.
He got more than Wayne.
Listen, bro.
Hey, this is Carter 76.
Yeah, stupid, yo, bro. If those braids are staying on top of that man's head, anything's possible.
Real quick, man. Salute to our brother Halo in the building too. It's always good to see Big Bro rocking with us, man. We definitely got to. I keep saying it. We definitely got to catch up soon. Salute to my guy, man. Salute to Smoking Skulls. So is Laki Tasi offensive lineman or defensive lineman? I think right now they're just trying to see what they have in them.
Project, man. Like,
this is the guy that may not even make the roster.
Dude, guys, look, he's one of them international players, so he doesn't really take up a roster spot. The guy's never played.
No. They changed that rule, so it will take a roster spot.
So he's got to make the roster now, right? So I stand corrected, but it's a guy who didn't even play college football, and you guys are expecting him because you hear how big and fast he is for him to just be some stud player. This is not the Al Davis 70s Raiders where you can go get somebody who was, cutting grass and put him on a football field. This is different, bro. This is not Bullet Bob Hayes. This is not Alexander Wright. This is not James Jett or Willie Golf. That's not what this is, bro. The league is different, bro. And you can't be a novice football player and make it. I'm sorry.
Dan, what makes you think that Don Wagner is going to take Mumford's spot? Mumford's healthy now. He's out there wrestling with Pete Carroll and shit. Don Wagner has been on the practice squad and injured, and we have not really even got an opportunity to see the 7'9" dude out of Arkansas. He's not going to make this roster. If any, at best, he'll probably be on the practice squad. I don't see
what I think about that comment. I'm tell you right now what I think about it.
Oh, you prolonged it, bro. You
God damn it.
You fucked up.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man.
You fucked up. Hey, you know what I say about that? It's nasty work. Nasty work.
Yeah, man. Listen, bro. Shit is going wrong here. This new soundboard.
Salute to Barrio. God bless y'all. I haven't been excited for a season like this, upcoming one in a while. Salute to my guy Barrio in the building. Salute to Michael. He says, Bar A this year. We've talked about it. You know, if it makes sense, definitely. I'll definitely pull up. I'm always looking for an excuse to go up there and kick with my bros because they won't come down here to see me. So, you know, you see how he played that while I mentioned that they never came down here to see me. But we'll see, Michael. We'll see. Salute to our family out there in Jersey, out there, Bar A. We love our people out there. We always have a good time. Nasty work. Yeah, hey, you got a soundboard without sound. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy.
F up out of here. You heard it.
Simple says. Nah,
you
bro.
heard it, right?
Yeah, but it was very low. Very low.
Damn it, I gotta get it. Damn it, Hammer.
Bro, you were whispering about being unceremoniously black. Like it was kind of crazy.
You hear that?
Hear that. That's good.
Cool.
Hey, Simple, you're not holding on to any money to go get a 40-year-old Bobby Wagner and 40-year-old Levante David. Like, it's no knock to those guys. And I don't mean literally, but this is probably the last season or two of their career.
Yeah, the last hurrah.
Yeah, so you're not holding on to your chips for aging linebackers. If anything, you're trying to get younger. That's why the aging guys that we brought in, Landon's on a 1-year deal. Landon, Devin White, even though he's not old by any means, but he's on a 1-year deal. Like Jalen Smith is on a 1-year deal. You got to get younger at the linebacker position. I've always said this, and some people disagree. Some people agree. The linebacker position to me is the running back of the defense. Like it's like you got to stay young. You got to stay fresh there. Like I don't see anybody running out to go get a 40-year-old running back. You know what I mean? Like I don't see it, or even over 30 years old, unless you're a Derrick Henry or those type of guys.
Bro, look, this is a young man's league, bro.
Yeah.
Like, look, a lot of people we like to, laud some of these guys for what they did in the past. It's a young man's football league, bro. You don't go out there and go get a bunch of old players for no single reason.
Yeah.
Yo, wasted soundboard got the gout. Get the F up out of here.
Facts. Real quick, salute to my guy Chris in the building. 90 player cut coming soon, down to 75. I like that you said that, Chris, because I want to ask my brother real quick. We haven't really talked about this behind the scenes or on screen. Give me 3 players and I'll give you 3. Just off the top. Like maybe some surprising cuts. And I don't mean surprising like, oh my God, like we just cut Jacoby. Like it's not going to happen, right? But 3 cuts where it's like, wow, like he didn't make this roster. Give me 3. Either it could be on a defense, offense, doesn't matter. I'll throw a few names out there after you. Some surprise cuts. Gold dust.
Yo, dog, it's hard for me to say because I haven't seen anybody play, right? But somebody in that running back room's got to go, right?
So is it going to be Raheem Mostert? Would that be a surprise? Because I don't think any of the other guys would be surprised.
Well, Raheem Mostert doesn't have a whole lot of money on that deal.
Like $2 million.
Yeah. So I don't think it's going to be Raheem Mostert. So I'm going to move on to the linebacker room. Jalen Smith is not a surprise cut. I think he's going to get cut.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, when you start talking about guys in that room, Thayer Munford is going to get cut.
You think so?
Yeah.
He makes this roster to me.
I think Thayer Munford.
Too versatile. I'm telling you, Brendan Carroll's gonna utilize him.
Yo, Thayer Munford is going to get unceremoniously blocked. Graphk Raider.
He's healthy. There's no way. I don't see it.
Look, bro. So let's you know what? Eric, gather around the fire. We got to look at it like this. You just brought in Charles Grant. You got Caleb Rogers, right?
Mm-hmm.
These two, they're making it. Colt Miller's making it. DJ Glaze is making it. Jordan Meredith is making it. Mm-hmm. Gillen Parham's making it. JPJ's making it.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, how many linemen do you think they're going to carry? Thayer Munford might be on that list. He might be. Alex Kappa's making it.
You're going to get rid of a guy that can play left tackle, right tackle, and guard?
He can play left tackle, right tackle, and guard somewhere to FLs. He's going to get unceremoniously blocked. You asked for my list, I'm giving it to you. I don't want to hear your crap.
Okay. So Munford is one. Jalen Smith, even though wouldn't be a shocker, but Jalen Smith, And
Well, we don't have a whole lot of linebackers, right? So listen.
I have one too, so stay away from that room.
Well, for the linebacker room, I know who you're going to say, bro, and you're going to say Devin White, and it's cool. I know you're going to say Devin White. That's why I didn't do it, because, listen, diabolical twins.
Diabolical.
Unite. Look, and I'm going to be real with you, bro. When you go into that wide receiver room, go into the wide receiver room.
You look around.
Receiver room. You look around, and you walk out of the wide receiver room because they're going to be safe. You know, I'm stalling right now because I'm trying to think, bro. Like,
hey, just say some name like Ian Thomas, bro, so we can get out of this segment.
Bro, no. Listen,
Ian Thomas is going to make this roster. Watch, he will be the third tight end. He's a veteran. He's a blocking tight end. He can help in it all.
He's going to make the roster, bro. So it's rough, man. I'm trying to really think, man. I'm really trying to think, right? Because Landon's going to make it. He's 30 years old. But
he'll be a leader of that defense.
Amari Ferrari's going to make it.
Oh, yeah. See, now I am in total agreement. But once again, new regime. What's their thought process behind it? We don't know yet.
You know, I'm just trying to think, bro.
Okay, so we'll
Zach Carter's going to be unceremoniously blocked. No.
I forgot that Zach Carter was on this rock. See, wait, so we're not surprise cuts. Okay, look. All right. And to be honest, I'm kind of cheating as well. Devin White is not a surprise. He has no guaranteed money on the books. He has a 1 year deal.
I'm just gonna say it. I didn't want to do it because he's a friend of the show, Dylan Labe.
But I love Dylan. But would that be a surprise?
Dylan Labe, I've been trying to beat around the bush. Dylan Labe.
That's what she said.
Whoa, big Zoomer.
Well, look, I love Dylan, but that isn't, and Dylan will be on the show again here very soon. But that doesn't mean that's, to me, that's not a surprise. That wouldn't be a surprise. I want my guy to make the roster.
I want him to make it too, man.
You know what I mean? I want to see him play football in the silver and black.
Friend of the show. I want that man cashing in.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it. It was still low, but I heard it. Let me do this. Devin White. You know what? We're just going to stick with the whole Zamir White. Shit. Another.
He said, shit.
I'm trying to think. It has to be a DB. Is it
DCAM?
No. He's in year 2 in a rookie deal. Nah, it can't be.
One of the safeties?
Okay, here's one. I don't think it's going to happen. But let's just say one of those other guys go out there. Alex Kappa.
Look, I had Kappa on that list, but then hearing that he's playing well and stuff like that.
Hey, OTAs, brother. Like, he's not getting any real pressure. Yeah. Let's get those pads on. Let's see what this shit look like in real life.
That's what she said also. Bang Zoom.
Hey.
Bang effing Zoom.
But the thing is, there's not really any surprises because there's a ton of, like, veterans on this roster, right? That you're like, they can make this team. They're fringe guys that can make this team. Then you have a ton of unproven talent that you're hoping that can step up in year 1. And then you got superstars. Max ain't going anywhere. Kuntz is not going anywhere. He stayed home. There was other deals on the table where he could have went somewhere for the long term. He chose to stay home. And I have him taking a massive step this season and having a big year. But, like, there's other players. Like, you're not moving Chin. You just signed him on a 2-year deal. You're not moving Palomar. You just re-signed him. Honestly, I mean,
it's very, very rough because you know that these guys that they brought in, they're invested in them, right?
Yeah.
And then there are people that are just boilerplate that the regime could have moved on from, and they kept them here for a particular reason. Guys like D. Cameron and all these guys.
Jacorian, I mean, previous regime. But once again,
these are guys they could have jettisoned previous to this, and they didn't because I think they believe, right? Yeah. So it's going to be rough, man. It's going to be rough.
Yeah. Yo, it was really low though, but I heard it.
Bro, I didn't even know that's what this was. I shouldn't even have played that. My bad.
That shit is hilarious, bro. Salute to my guy Gerald in the building. He says, "Go Commanders." Yo, we talking about your guy Scary Terry, man. Potentially on the trading block, but I think he's going to remain with you guys out there in DC. I don't think he's going anywhere. Can Harper be a guy? Definitely, Matt. I mean, as Notre Dame guys, he could definitely. Look, I'm always Notre Dame biased. I'm not the biggest, Harper guy, but I love the thought process of moving him to the nickel and getting him away from the safety position. I like that. If he can perform well there, I love it because I don't think he's a better safety than Trey Taylor, Palamau, Chin, even Chris Smith. So I have him as
if Chris Smith gets cut, bro, that's like
it's not a shocker, but I'm just saying I think Chris Smith is better.
Like Trey Tucker getting cut is a shocker.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's a shocker, bro. That's some Raheem Mostert getting cut is a shocker. Alex Kappa.
Oh, here's one wasted. Let's have some fun. You ready for this?
Are we doing some aerobics or something? What's going on?
Surprise cut. Aiden O'Connell.
I was gonna say that, bro, but because look, man, I think
Cam Miller gets out there goes crazy.
I don't think it's crazy, but I don't think they would cut Aiden O'Connell. I think they would trade him because he has a lot of value. He started and won games in this league. Yeah. But I'm gonna be real with you. I think there's a player that you're really, really wrong about. Cam Miller, bro.
You think I'm wrong?
I think you're wrong about him. He can play.
Okay. He's
like
a proven winner. He's won a ton of games at the collegiate level. I'm not saying,
bro, it's not even that because it's not like he did that in the SEC. It's the fact that the kid has a strong arm. He can move. I love the way his throwing motion look. I was watching the kid. He is somebody that can be developed. I like Cam Miller.
I'm just going off of covering him for a week at the Shrine Bowl. That's it, bro. Like I've seen the tape. I've seen what he can do, on tape. It looks totally different. He just threw me off a little bit watching him at the Shrine Bowl because I watched other guys, the kid out of Syracuse go out there and outperform him. I seen Brady Cook, the Missouri kid, go out there and outperform. I was just like, okay, well, because I wasn't that familiar with Cam Miller. I knew who he was, but I'm like, okay, man, let me see this kid. And he didn't really do too much for me. Once again, it's the Shrine Bowl. You're playing with players that you have no chemistry with. I get it. There was some problems with him in the center snapping the football. Maybe it's just my bias.
That center to quarterback exchange is something that happens in those kind of games.
Yeah, right? No, I get it, but I'm just going off what I've seen. Do I trust Pete and those guys and Chip Kelly, of course, to develop him and Tom Brady out there in the mix that could potentially help him, get a little right too? I'm here for it. I hope that he goes out there and he becomes a dog for us, bro. In a perfect world, you develop him and Geno moves on to greener pastures a few years later, and Cam's your guy in a perfect world. But I'm just going off of what I see, and I wasn't that high on him, and I still have Aiden as the clear-cut number 2 quarterback.
I mean, look, when you start talking about resumes matter in the National Football League. Aiden O'Connell is a guy, no matter what's happened, no matter what the situation is, no matter who the coach, he's gone out there and gotten it done in some really adverse times. And I want to show respect to Aiden O'Connell. You know what I'm saying? Aiden O'Connell I don't think that he's a high-level starter. Maybe he can develop into being a starting level talent, but he's definitely a hell of a backup quarterback with a terrible mustache. And I'm gonna be real with you, man. If he's backing you up and you need him to start you 3 games,
he will. Yep.
He will, and he'll do the best he can.
And he'll probably look really good in that chip system too.
Yeah, he probably will. But if you want Aiden O'Connell to be, the measuring stick for how you want your mustache cut, if you go and look in a barbershop and they have the Aiden O'Connell up there, you don't want that.
Wait.
Yes. Yo, how the hell did that play so loud? It's very loud. How'd you do that? Oh, you douchebag. I thought you did something. I thought you figured out in them hammer situations here.
They're not ready. No, but I hear you, man. I hear you. Let me see. Eric says, nah, Cam Miller's 2023 YouTube tape is very interesting, Graphk. However, Aiden is the clear-cut heir to Geno. Well, at this point, Eric, but I mean, he came from a previous regime. They went and got Cam Miller. That's the first quarterback drafted in this new regime. You can't say he's the heir apparent.
Bro, ain't nobody keeping Aiden O'Connell on ice to be some savior to the Raiders, man.
No.
F you. Like, come on, bro.
To be real with you, Eric, I think that they're ready. If in a perfect world, Geno's the guy for the next 2 or 3 seasons, but next year's draft class is insane at the quarterback position. And if we struggle this year with Geno in the mix, I would not be shocked if they pushed all their chips in next year to go get their guy.
Yeah, you see Drew Allard in silver and black.
I would love it. You know, one of those guys, the kid out of South Carolina, Sellers, like he's a monster. Like,
yeah, but he's more athlete than quarterback.
Hey, shit. I would love to see what Chip Kelly can do with that kid.
And bro, listen, I'm cool, bro. I just want a big, square-jawed Western Pennsylvania quarterback. Listen, man. Johnny U, Joe Montana, Dan Marino, all you just go get me a kid.
Give me the American Dad chin all day, that's right. Every day.
Listen, give me the American Dad, a cleft butt booty chin, with a strong arm, that can't move that much.
Where you can ash cigarette butts in that motherfucker, like
something like that, right? And you just, listen. Look, man, where's the great rape ape from? Is he from Western Pennsylvania too?
I think so, or Ohio, somewhere.
Is he? Why did I ever leave Ohio? But everybody loves Lenore Sellers, man. I'm cool, man. I don't need too much of the dual threat. I want one of the threats to be throwing the ball, you know. So whatever, man.
LV, we will be definitely tomorrow. I got this coaches clinic where I'm going to out here at the Star tomorrow in Dallas. Get some certification or some shit. But I know that the media day is from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. tomorrow Pacific time. And we're definitely going to be, I know Waste is going to be crazy busy tomorrow. But if there's a ton to talk about, we definitely will be live tomorrow. So stay tuned. If we get some hidden gems in the media day, and I know mini camp starts tomorrow, but I need people to realize too that mandatory mini camp means that this is the time they're going to start getting into the playbook. They're going to be more in the office, trying to, perfect, the playbook. This is not more a on-field type situation. They're going to be out there getting down to the X's and O's. So stay tuned for that. But once again, I'm definitely going to be all over the media day tomorrow, and I'm definitely want to shoot a live tomorrow for it if there's something to talk about. So what happened, bro? No,
that sounds crazy, huh? Nothing, bro. Listen, bro. Look, you're
just a disgusting human being, dog.
No, it's crazy, bro.
You're nasty, Gerald. That is a game that we are definitely talking about going to. Definitely want to go out to DC.
Come on, Jack. I want to shoot live right now, Jack. You went full boogie nights on me, bro.
Yo, you stupid, bro. Yes, a ton of them. And I spoke to a few of the guys. A few second year guys, talked to a few of the rooks, that let me say not a few, one of the rooks. They're excited. They're excited to get out there tomorrow and take part in the media day. It's going to be fun. It's a fun time to be a Raider right now. Media day, they're going to have all the guys out there. It's just going to be fun and games, man. So, Q, man, my guy's just taking care of his family, brother. I mean, look, man, he's one of the forefathers with this Raider content stuff. He got tired, man. He works a full-time gig and has a beautiful family, man. Cody's just doing his thing. So
Butters.
That's Butters.
Yo, that's Butters. Raider Butters. That's my dog.
Yo, motherfucking Butters, bro. Get a few more questions in, you guys, before we get out of here. We still have 1,000 people rocking in the building. As always, salute to my guy Ray Kingdom. He says, man, real talk, Thornton will end up being wide receiver 1 before the season. Man, that would be beautiful. I would love to see that for this kid, man. I would love to see it. But once again, you can even ask him and he'll tell you he has a ton to learn. He has a ton to prove. And he doesn't think that, snaps are just going to be given to him. He has to go out there and earn them. And, we're definitely going to be talking a ton about Dante this year.
Yeah,
I mean, the measurable, the speed, just what he brings to the game, it's different. But it all has to come together. Year one, what did he say yesterday? Wasted in the interview, he said, trying to get accustomed to the speed of the game. It's a different level. You know what I mean? So, but we shall see, man. I'm excited.
And it's the thing about Dante Thornton. We got to pump the brakes because he's got to get some more snaps. I mean, this is a guy that's only had 65 catches in his entire college career, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's not by lack of, production. It's because, he was in a situation, he had to leave, he got to Tennessee, and he did most of his damage at Tennessee. But the thing is this. This is a guy who needs to get to the National Football League and adjust to the game. He has to adjust to the way they call plays. He has to adjust to the speed of the game, the way they defend him. He hasn't been hit yet in the National Football League. There's a lot there. The thing with Dante Thornton that I do like is that he has a foundation of God-given ability that not many people have. Yeah. And if he's the kind of kid that I see that he is, he's a hard worker. He's a smart kid. He understands how to run the route tree. He's going to be able to put it together because you got the right coaches in the building. And
the right quarterback to get him to football, which is exciting. You know what I mean? So, Sean, this is a great question, man. I asked in another chat, what do you guys think our points per game might be? You know what's funny, man? I got to hold on to this because I don't even know who's going to be on this roster yet. We may make another move or something. You know what I mean? We don't know. But I'll say this offense is definitely going to be a lot more potent and exciting than last year. Definitely. What do you think, Waze? If you had to just be a betting man right now, do you the 21 a game, 22 a game, somewhere in that range?
Yeah, because just by virtue, sight unseen, the upgraded quarterback.
Yeah.
So sight unseen about 21 points.
And not even just that. I mean, you went out and got potentially a generational running back. So, he said we're projecting to average 21 or 24 points a game. Look, I was just being even more modest.
Yeah, I'm being modest saying 21 because I don't know, how the line's going to hold up and how the rest of these things are going to jive together. But just based off of the fact that Brock Bowers another year older, another year wiser, another year better, right?
Yeah.
You've made some improvements, I think, to the offensive line. DJ Glaze another year better. Jackson Powers another year better. You're dealing with a healthier Colton Miller. And I think that you upgraded the wide receiver room exponentially.
And not even just that way. You got to think about this. You're facing some tough defenses this year. You got the Chargers twice. You got the Broncos twice, one of the better defenses. You got the Kansas City Chiefs twice, one of the better defenses in football. You got Philly. You got the Texans, who are a defensive-minded football team. You have Philadelphia, one of the best defenses in football. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got the Commanders, who their head coach is a defensive-minded guy. They're going to be a really good defensive football team this year. So we have a ton of teams that are fielding great defenses. So you have to take into account. You can't just say 27, 28 points per game just because of what the personnel that we have. We're facing some really good defenses this year, so it's going to be tough. The Colts even may have a interesting defense. They may not win a ton of games, but they may have an interesting defense out there. Like, the Patriots got Vrabel now. They're going to be a defensive-minded football team. Like, they're going to be a better defense. So
yeah.
I'm not expecting to go out there and put up 30 on some of these teams. Just got to be honest. Got to be real. Get a few more questions in, you guys, before we get out of here. Raiders traded 4th round, potentially a 5th for Ramsey. You said, I think Alex is trying to say trade a 4th, potentially a 5th. And we talked about that. We both agreed on that. A 4th or a 5th. I would do that all day.
Yeah, and get Miami to take some of that Skrilla.
Yep. Hey, look, you ain't got to take all of it. Just take a piece of it.
Yeah, just a little piece.
Just take a piece of it.
And that's what she said.
That's exactly what she said. I think if the O-line plays better, then we can easily put up 24 to 30 a game based on potential. Don't mean nothing until we play. I know. Just curious what the early thoughts might be. This is the thing, though, Sean. Like, we're also going to run the football a ton. So, we'll run the football to open up the pass. We'll definitely – Gino's going to get his issue. But the thing is, we're going to be a run-first football team.
Yeah, definitely.
When you see teams that run the football constantly score 1 million points.
I love what Chip Kelly's doing too in OTAs. They got Ashton Jenney running around and lining up all these different places. And the thing about that is when you draft a running back this high, right? The overarching theme that we spoke about, and I'm going to keep talking about, is snaps, right?
Yeah.
You have some running backs that just run the football primarily. They're getting a lot of contact. They get beat up. They play at a very high level, and then before you know it, they're out the league, right? Mm-hmm. Then you have guys like Alvin Kamara and Christian McCaffrey and people that are dual threat running backs that can catch the football. That prolongs their career because you get them out in space, catching the football, being able to make a move. Maybe you have to, make one guy miss as opposed to you getting, hit under duress every, 2-3 seconds when you're running a football. So I think what they're doing with Ashton Jenney is very, very smart, especially with having guys like Raheem Mostert and guys like that. So now you can have a situation where you have both these guys on the field at the exact same time. You give some scary different looks, right? So if you have a formation where you have, Jenney out in space, then you got Brock Bowers, you got Thornton taking the top off the deep. You have a pick your poison kind of situation that we've never seen since the greatest show on turf.
and they see Genty as a 3-down back. Like they see that it's clear cut. They're getting him active in the passing game. For those who have no idea, everybody just looks at what he did this past season, where he had 397 yards in the air, and I think he had, I forgot how many touchdowns. It was like a few. I think he had one touchdown. No, I'm sorry. He had 138 yards in the air last year and one touchdown. But the year previously, he had 569 yards receiving and 5 touchdowns to go along with that. Pete already touched on it in the presser. He looks at him as a 3rd down back. Touched on the topic, wasted the topic. Okay, it's nasty work out here in these streets. This guy is too horny. If y'all knew what the hell he was talking about off the phone, this is a horny man. He's a horny man.
Wow, this is crazy, bro.
Disgusting.
I mean, listen.
Speaking of horny, fuck you. The greatest name in YouTube history.
This is crazy, bro. This is crazy, man. Brother's trying to make sweet love to his wife. And now I'm just deviant now.
Now we see trouble.
Yeah, the F up out of here.
Yeah, it was funny the way you were trying to go about it to make it happen. That was hilarious.
Yeah, I was trying to get my kids. Don't y'all want to go to the movies?
Go to the movies, man. It's on me.
Oh, yeah. Don't y'all want to go to the mall?
Fucking go buy a car. Shit.
Oh, baby, you got your license now?
Yo, salute to my guy. What's up, y'all? Excited for this season. I have that feeling that we will make another big move soon. Shout out to Shieldmore. Salute to my guy, one of the greatest names in YouTube history, and appreciate you for being a member for 20 months. Real quick, too, you guys. If you guys want to become members, hit the links pinned up top on both sides. It definitely helps us keep the lights on. Knows we're in, you guys. No booger. Don't let wasted lie to you guys.
Stop your lies. It's definitely a booger.
It's nasty work out here in these streets.
Silvery booger.
Get a few more questions in before we get out of here, y'all. Smoking Skull says, what are your guys' thoughts on Cody Lindenberg? Is he the future of the linebacker room? I don't think he's the future
at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be a doucher, right? I don't want to come on here and say that he's going to be.
Hey, yeah.
I haven't even seen. Yeah, I did say come on here, but I don't want to. I know how he looked in college, right? And I like the kid, but we haven't seen anything. It's way too premature to sit up here and say that. I would make the roster with you guys for me to be like, oh, he's definitely going to be the future of the linebacker room. That's crazy.
Well, he has to make the roster, and I like what the kid can do. I think that Tommy Eichenberg is a better linebacker than him.
Why do you think he has to make the roster, though?
What do you mean?
Cody Lindenberg.
I said he has to make the roster first.
I thought you were saying that he has to.
No, and I told you this on the phone earlier. Like, I like Lindenberg. He was one of my least favorite pickups in this draft class. And I thought that we maybe waited a little too long to take a linebacker, which we got one, and that's cool. Like, they got a thumper in Lindenberg. I'm okay with that. But once again, I wanted a two-way sideline to sideline linebacker. We've talked about this for a long time now.
Yeah.
But once again, you're going against Tommy Eichenberg, a guy that already has a year in this system with Patrick Graham, and he's going into year 2. The speed of the game is slowed up a little bit. It's already against the grain for him to make this roster. You got Amari in the building. You got a ton of veterans. I don't know if he even makes the roster. I know that the new regime went and got him, and they're probably going to be rooting for their guy, but the best players are going to make this roster. So
I think he's a prime candidate to be practice squad player.
I can see that. I can see that. And I don't think that any team is going to go out there and lose their minds to go steal him from our practice squad, which would be great because then we can develop them. TCW, man, appreciate you on becoming a member, my guy. Salute to my dude. I don't know what channel it's on, but we appreciate you, brother. Real talk. Salute to you, man. Get a couple more in, you guys. We got 1,000.
I get like 2 more questions in because I'm about to fall asleep.
Yeah.
Get a strong 3, y'all.
Yo, I rock with y'all, fellas. Y'all are the most genuine Raiders content creators on the tube. I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, Raider Kingdom, man. That means a lot, man. In a world where, you have people, and I'm going to be a little.
Or you lead with hate.
Yes. Why must you hate, child? Love.
Yo. He's stupid, man. He says, Symbols is Graphk. Nobody had a problem with you cutting the show short because you had the house to yourselves. Leave Wasted alone.
Yeah, I know, man. This guy, man. This guy has an embarrassment of riches right now.
Wasted. That's what happens when you lead with hatred.
Yeah, this guy. And see, this is the problem with my situation here. My kids are not little anymore. It's not like, we could put on like Elmo or some shit. and give them snacks, and they don't know what's going on anymore. You know, I got a kid that's going to college, that's driving, and another one that's in high. Like, bro, my kids are in high school. They know what's going on, bro. You can't be getting down with the get down, and they're up. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be like, oh my God, you're disgusting. You can't be having that, bro.
Salute to Alex. This is facts. Alex is Graphk. You're gonna be live. Hopefully, I get out of this coaching clinic at 4:30. I'm gonna try to go live 6 o'clock my time. Stay tuned, Alex. Can't make any. We deleted the show for yesterday and we made it today. Yeah. So, but we'll see, man. I should be live tomorrow though. And we had the AFC West show up Tuesday night. It's already on the channel, you guys. So pull up. We're gonna have a ton to talk about. Salute to Salvo. I keep hoping this Wilkins injury is Spytek and Carroll just gaslighting the rest of the league to keep our opponents unprepared. Highly unlikely, of course, but I can hope. Yeah, it's highly unlikely at this point. I mean, after the draft, there's no more smoke screen anymore. Like, he hasn't been out there.
They drafted 2 defensive tackles, and I know it's not just by virtue of the fact that Christian Wilkins has this issue. You know, you lost Big John Jenkins and stuff like that, but JJ Pegues and Tonka Hemingway are going to factor into the situation here. You know, it was not missed on me that they drafted 2 of those guys. They went out on free agency. They made sure that they went around the dance floor with Adam Butler, because if you had Wilkins, and Laki Tassi is not somebody that I'm even considering. This guy's never played a snap of football.
You don't know yet, though. You just never know.
You know, look, the idea of Laki Tassi is better than what I'm expecting.
Mm-hmm.
The name's awesome.
Salute to our brother Halo, man. You stay blessed as well. Smoke said, are we getting a fullback? Hey, man, you got one in JJ. Put JJ out there. Pegues.
The Peguester.
The Peguester.
Yo, man, listen, tomorrow it is going to be sick and silly tomorrow. There will be Raider news. We will both be rocking and rolling.
That means that Wasted is about to go to sleep right now. Salute to everybody here in the building. As always, we appreciate you guys so much for pulling up for the latest installment of the Graphk and Wasted, or the Wasted and Graphk show. Salute to the greatest chat. As always, we appreciate you guys. Wipe them feet, man. Pay your bar tabs on the way out. Hit that subscribe button. And once again, if there's a ton going on at the media day tomorrow and we get some inside scoops with mini camp and stuff, we will be here to cover it every step of the way. Wasted, you got anything on the way out?
We're going to be covering the Raiders tomorrow like fat women in San Antonio covering churros. That's all I got, babies.
Chuck said it best. We out of here, y'all. 1.